here's the area. I'm right here. Okay, like Fred Rogers' grave is right there. So I'm walking down the stone path, getting near Henrietta Slater and Thomas Dunn and this old mausoleum here, kind of posing. And I saw this, so I wanted to show it to you. It's kind of interesting. A bit of history. You look at it and you say, well, that's a Confederate iron plaque with the Confederate flag. Born 1824, died 1885. Samuel Best. So he was a soldier for the Confederate States, buried in the North. I'm going to research this more, but the only other person I know of like this, in my understanding, is in Bedford, PA. So this should be known of. I'm sure other people have seen it, but it's never been truly documented to my best of my knowledge about this gentleman. So if he died in 1885, it tells you he was almost let's see, 61, maybe just under 61. So the best. Now there's other people here from the 1870s. These would be other people. I don't see anything else like that. That says Saxman over there. So just wanted to document that. If anybody knows anything about this or is looking for the history of this gentleman, this is where you find his grave from the Civil War. Again, very strange to see a Confederate grave in North. So I'm back home. I did a little bit of research on that Civil War grave that I mentioned just a minute ago. And Samuel Cummings Best, he's a pretty interesting guy. He was named after the family doctor. And he lived in New Derry, PA, which isn't too far from here. A lot of really interesting parallels with being down at my sister's and this guy. So he lived there, and he was a private in the Civil War in Captain Thomas Black's Company F, the 21st Regiment, um, and he enrolled in February 17th, 1864. He was discharged in July 8th, 1865. He had a really successful contracting business, building a lot of the buildings for the Pennsylvania Railroad, and later the coke ovens that some of the ones I've been to and showed you. His widow was Nancy Ann, and she lived with her son William, which you can look into their family. But he was a son of Elias Best. And as a boy, he ran away from the Ligonier Valley and settled in Winchester. Um, Originally ran away to Tennessee, where he met this woman, and he owned a store and settled in Winchester, near where my sister lives. And it had a lot of coal land. So, like in the 1860s, he went and fought for the Civil War for the South, even though he was from here. Shows you just so much with the Civil War that different families would, how much it really tore at families. And he had a bad problem with bronchitis. So he saw many different battles. He was at Petersburg, Richmond, Crater, Globe, Tavern, Appomattox, and was paroled as a prisoner of war at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia, April 9th, 1865, and surrendered the following day by Robert E. Lee. Really interesting bit of history about him. He had a son, and a lot of interesting information here. I was able to build and find from it. Yeah, it was really neat and strange to see a Confederate grave, and I thought, well, The only other one I'd seen was one up in Bedford, but the gentleman had left his family and changed his name and moved to Pennsylvania. This one is actually a Pennsylvania guy that ran away and fought for the South. What a story of a life, you know. So I want to pay my respect to him. I wanted to show that video to all you, and I wanted to give a follow up to say exactly what his life was about.